high. Mine still is. How are you feeling?
Really proud of what the players were able to do. It was just, sometimes when you're just in that, you need to find a way, and that last quarter was as good a last quarter as I've seen, considering the situation, and being able to turn it around and do what we're able to do. There were some huge efforts in that last term. I mean, Chad and Isaac, their contest, the amount of contests that we won, the 50-50 balls, it's probably a bit unfair to single out a couple. There was an enormous across-the-board effort in that last quarter. We just had plenty of run, so much hardness, and winning 50-50 footy, and it's amazing what happens when you get that right.
To do that in the last quarter as well, when you know the legs are running heavy as well, that must also be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, and sometimes it takes just a couple of big contests to win, and we're able to do that. Just the ability to be able to, a couple of those blokes in the last quarter, they just played enormous quarters, and I think across the board it was just, you just see everyone lift when they and it was just fantastic to watch. It would have been, the last quarter was as good as I've seen us play for what was needed.
Was there anything particular you did to sort of spark that response when it looked like it was getting away from you, especially when they came out and kicked the first goal?
No, unfortunately I can't claim that last quarter was something magical over it. It just doesn't work like that. It's I wish it did, because I'd turn to it a bit more often. And sometimes it's as simple as just winning your contests, and it's nothing more than that at times. And we started to turn the tide in the real contests. Some big contests, either marking contests, which I thought we got beaten, a bit too much in the air. But that last term we turned it around, and then we played the last. We hit the front with 4 minutes to go, and I thought we played it pretty smart. There were some things that the team did and played that out really well.
And a couple of things you did do late in the game was Logan got forward again, and Parker in the middle, back in their more familiar positions, I guess, but that only happening sort of later in the game. Yeah,
I mean, we threw a few things around. You're trying things at different times all the time, and we got, what did we get, 28 points down, was it, at one stage in the start of the last, I think, after they kicked that first one, 28 points down or something. So, we needed to throw things around a little bit. We stopped them from scoring from that, they kicked that first goal, but then we held them for a bit, and then we think we've got to win here, and threw a few things around, but just the ability to be able to win the contest was awesome.
And for Errol, he'd had a pretty deep night, unusual for him, but then he's bobbed up late to what turns out to be a pretty decisive goal.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Steele Sidebottom is one of the all-time great players. Steele, he's amazing. He's so smart. He's got a great tank. He's a very good player. And so, to keep persisting, you're a young player. You're finding your way still in the AFL footy world with high expectations on yourself. Not so much elsewhere, but on yourself. And to keep persisting and kick that goal was terrific.
About the most valuable lesson you can get, I suppose, in terms of keep persisting, like you're saying, but then it only takes one moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great lesson to keep applying your craft and keep going at it, and who knows what happens.
John, do you think the criticism of Isaac, Chad and Errol has been unfair, considering what they've done earlier in the season and the response tonight and that response?
I mean, they've had a couple of weeks off. They haven't played as well as what they did, which was an extraordinary level for. It wasn't just the first half of the season. It was a bit longer than that. It was a lot of weeks, and so it's hard to maintain that level of performance every week. And you have a couple of weeks where you're not playing as well, and everyone comes at you, and that's just part of what footy is. But the character that they showed tonight was, when the game was on the line, to lift like they did was enormous.
Earlier on, first quarter, you could see players looked a bit fresher. There was a real uplifting effort. How pleased were you to see that after the 2 days off and the response?
Yeah, we'll probably give them another few days off, and maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that's the answer. They're very smart players, aren't they? They work that out pretty quickly. But no, you've got to change it up a bit. And I mean, I don't know whether it helped, but sometimes you need to do something to change your program and change things a bit. But still at three-quarter time, you're probably thinking, did it work or didn't it work? And fortunately, it looked like we got across the ground really well in that last quarter, and our run was enormous in that last term.
John, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Logan's game a bit more. Just obviously playing back, he hasn't played there a lot, had his ups and downs, got swung forward to kick that big goal, and then went back again and made some big plays back there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, look, I'd have to go back and have a look in a bit more detail. It's a bit hard at the moment, but part of learning your craft as a forward is to play back, and there's plenty of players have done that, and we think he can be used at both ends. He's a beautiful kick. He's smart. So he played down there for a bit, and did a roll down there for 3 quarters, and we looked to throw Tommy forward, then we changed it. In that last quarter, we thought we'd put Logan back there, and that first centre bounce, he took that mark. It was just a stroke of luck. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
You must have been pleased Logan was able to take his own late in the game and kick that goal after obviously missing a couple there.
Yeah, I know, but that's happened. I mean, it's only because it's a focus on that particular moment at the end of the game, It was terrific. We always said after those moments and after those games, it was not about that kick. What we love about him is that he keeps on having a crack at it. And that's what you got to do. You got to have a crack at it. I don't want anyone not wanting the ball or not wanting to have a shot when it's your turn to have a shot. Keep having a crack. Keep throwing a dart at the dartboard. Have a go at it.
John, we welcomed some of the 2012 Premiership heroes back. One was on the field tonight. Luke, can you reflect a bit on him tonight? Obviously starting, then going in the midfield, and I suppose really showing that Blues culture.
Yeah, he was terrific. Just playing forward, he kicked a couple of goals as a forward. He's got good forward craft, and he thought it was timely. We grabbed him at 3/4 time and just threw him in the midfield. And I thought he did a good job in the midfield as well. Just at that particular moment late in the game, he used his smarts and did a good job for us. So it was, he played an important role.
Is that forward role? Is that just him sort of working his way back into AFL level and getting games under his belt, or something that he felt you needed?
No, I think that if you look at the team, if you've got, we had Jordan going to Dacos, and you've got Chad and Isaac, and you've got Errol, and there's only so many can play inside. They can't all play in there, so you've got to have variety in there. And we put Isaac forward a little bit more in the last term, and Parksy was a player a bit more in the midfield. So, but he did a good job as a forward. Kicked a couple of goals, did a good job.
John Longmire was back in the stand. It's been a few hours, and how many times he's hit the scoreboard in the past few weeks, but he was quite important in just the playmaker today.
Yeah, he got up the ground a little bit more, and did some good things in the last term. Really smart for just learning those moments, but he did a good job. Just competing in front of the ball was good.
You mentioned earlier that Collingwood seemed to control the air a bit more. Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron were really, really influential in that sort of aspect. What did you do to sort of try and limit their impact on the game?
We've got to get there in those moments more than what we do. We've got to get there and compete and get it to ground a bit more. That's something we've got to work on. There's no question about that.
John, in terms of Callum Mills, he's obviously working his way back into the side. Do you think his position's still open? Would you potentially move him back into defence, or are you happy where he's competing at the moment?
We played him in a couple of different areas tonight. It was wing, inside, and defence. So I think we'll continue to do that. And he works. What I'm happy about is that he's getting through the game. So I'm pleased with that. So he'll get better as the weeks go on. And his leadership can't be understated. If you look, there were some big contests. He went back as an extra at one point, and there were some massive contests. He was just flying for it. He just really set the scene. And maybe the scene was set a little bit early when he was doing that. He was really launching at the ball. I was a bit worried a couple of times when he hit the deck. But then he was part of our genuine back six, and I thought he did a good job.
And also, I'm assuming he's playing a huge role behind the scenes coming off that loss against Port Adelaide.
Yeah, he does.
He
No, he does. He does that really well. He's got a great feel for it, Rams. Those guys, those guys have known for a long time. They know what needs to get done. Generally, they're pretty good at getting it done. Over the years, I think they've got a pretty good record at it.
Finally, getting a win on the board must be nice, but I guess the most important thing then is to back up this win when you're down home.
Yeah, look, we've got to enjoy those wins tonight because I'll get on to next week, tomorrow probably, but it's important for the players to realise and soak that in a bit because it was a fantastic win. And, those wins like that tonight, geez, you've got to enjoy those because it's, I don't want to push them for next week. We'll get on to that tomorrow. You've got to be able to enjoy those moments in footy because there's a lot of tough ones and you want to enjoy the moments when they're and savour them as a team.
I did double highs Nick Bleedy saw him obviously. I think it was his left leg.
He had a bit of an ankle.
Is he all right?
I think he's okay. He kept on playing, so we didn't need to sub him off, so that's a good sign.
Robbie Fox as well? Is he okay? Was that?
Yeah, no, he's okay. He's fine. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank